pass away at any moment. Isn't that scary? Final Destination movies are all about the unique and unfortunate ways you could meet your demise, again, at any time. Today we look at the freshly released movie, Final Destination Bloodlines. Although it's not low budget like our usual movies, it is a big horror release, so we felt the need to cover this movie. Now, today's cocktail. Very simple and very little thought, but delicious. I didn't put much thought into it, like I said, so I just was like,
He's bad at this.
it kind of looks like blood, but not as thick, so it's Mountain Dew Code Red with amaretto, and it's fucking delicious.
You probably should have gotten some red food dye to add to it to make it darker.
It's red enough, and it's really good.
Also, I'm going to add a Twizzler because I have Twizzlers and Twizzlers are red. That was also a complete accident. We are very unprofessional.
It's very sweet, also. It's good.
I should probably try it.
These are dangerous.
Whoa. No, that is good.
Oh, yeah. All right, now we gotta talk a little bit about the background of Final Destination. I'm going to try my best to keep it brief because with a movie like this, there's a lot to go through because there's just so many sequels and information. It could be its own podcast to talk about the whole legacy and history of Final Destination. So I'm going to focus on the main points. The first Final Destination movie came out on March of 2000. I did not watch it as I was 3 years old. But I did watch it when I was older. The movie spawned 5 sequels.
I wasn't even born yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but good. No, it just occurred to me. I was like, I wasn't even born when the first one came out.
It had 5 sequels, including the one we're covering today. This is the first Final Destination movie since 2011. It is directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, and it's written by Guy Busick and Laurie Evans Taylor. It stars April Tellick, Breck Basinger, Richard Harmon, and some other people, and Tony Todd. The fucking legend, Tony Todd.
I wonder if was this his last movie?
The film comes out tomorrow, or today probably as you're watching this, May 16th, 2025, but really it's out today. It's been in the works for a while. Before COVID, it was delayed.
Well, today's May 15th.
Yeah, so it's supposed to come out tomorrow, but it's out today. So that's what I'm saying. It's weird, but that's just how they do it.
What?
It's not supposed to come out till tomorrow.
But it's out today.
I know.
So it came out today.
It comes out tomorrow.
What?
Don't ask me. I didn't make the rules.
What the fuck? That's so stupid.
Anyway, it was in the works before COVID. It was delayed again due to the SAG-AFTRA strike, and it's finally coming out now. From what I've seen, and after watching the movie now, this is what my notes were before I saw the movie, but after watching the movie, you don't have to watch the other movies in order to get this one and enjoy it. It does help a lot if you do, as it not like help you understand the story, but it helps you
I think it goes
appreciate moments that happen. So it's a more fun experience if you've seen the other ones, but you don't have to watch
There's some things we'll get to. There's some setups and payoffs that I think are much more appreciable if you already know the formula of the other movies, right? Like, if you've never seen a Final Destination movie before and you see this, I think that's fine. But there's definitely some clever things that they do to kind of subvert expectations, but then also still kind of keep a lot of the
charm.
Yeah, kind of the staples of the series. That's the word I was looking for.
And also 2 more things before we get into the meat. One,
That makes me laugh every
Just-
time.
be ready to be 3 more things, I guess.
Oh.
One, be ready to be paranoid, because that's the nature of Final Destination movies. You're going to be very paranoid for the rest of
Oh, yeah.
however long it affects you, but you're going to be pretty paranoid for a while. 2, spoiler alert. We're about to talk about the whole fucking movie.
I was
entire movie.
I was
So,
gonna bring that up.
if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want it to get spoiled, don't watch the rest of this until after you watch the movie, because spoilers ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Including what I'm about to say. I'll give you 5 more seconds and then the spoilers will start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't get attached to any characters.
I mean, if you've seen Final Destination movies before, you should already know that, though. Like, I can't. It's been a while since I've seen the other ones. What are you doing with your mic?
I'm fixing the shock mount was messed up a little bit.
Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen any of the other Final Destination movies, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a single one where they don't all die. Like, normally, like, you get the last couple of survivors, like, right at the end, like, as it's going to credits, and, like, all of them, and I can't think of any where someone actually lives.
Yeah. Alright, well, now it's time for the meat. This person, we just watched this movie. Like, we just got back from the theater, so you'd think it'd be fresh in your mind. You'll remember it. No.
Thank God I
Parts
take
of it
copious
are,
notes.
But yeah, our notes are fucking
Also,
atrocious.
we normally
It's
use our
very
phones.
dark in the theater.
Right. We
I
normally
take notes on my computer because I like typing.
Right. We normally take digital notes. We had to use actual, like, pen and paper notebooks for this one because we're not going to use our phones in the theater. We're not assholes.
Yeah. Also, it's really dark, so the
Don't-
notes are bad.
I shouldn't have to say this. Do not use your phone in the movie theater. Don't
Like,
be a
for
cunt.
example, don't take a phone call when you're in the movie theater.
Yeah, maybe don't take a phone call in the movie. I
You
don't
know
care
who you
how
are.
quietly you talk.
You know who you are.
Don't take a phone call in the theater. This is going to be one of the ones he doesn't watch.
Alright. Anyway, so my first note is I'm ready to be afraid of trains.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It
But
opens...
you don't really see it at the beginning. You
Right.
just see the train track, and then it opens after that on like this weird Space Needle
Yeah.
building that's a
Is that what it's
restaurant.
called?
It's
That's
not
what I
called
was...
the Space Needle. That's the one
no,
in
the
Gallup.
real one. The
Yeah.
real one. As soon as I saw it, my first thought was, what the fuck is the real one in Seattle called? I couldn't think of it. I
Oh,
just
no,
wrote
there's-
Spire because I was like,
there's
I
a
can't...
place in Gatlinburg called the Space Needle. I don't know about Seattle.
What's the one in Seattle
I'm
called?
uncultured. I don't fucking know.
Is that not also the Space Needle?
I don't know. But
Anyways.
there's a big, tall building that's thin.
It's one of the
Like,
towers that
it's
does that
fat
thing.
And then thin and then fat.
Right.
And it's a restaurant at the top. And this couple is there, and they're about to have an anniversary of
Mm-hmm.
them being in a relationship. And he surprised her because she didn't think it was open yet, but he pulled some strings and got them in on opening night.
Also, just a reference, this opening bit is like in the 50s and 60s. When it opens on the train tracks, right, it's like kind of low and then it backs up and then their car goes by and you're like, oh, that's an old vintage car. And then you see inside and you see everything going on, that it's clearly like, what I think like
Yeah, like
it looks 50s or 60s.
yeah. Pay attention when you watch this movie because there's a lot of like. It's
There's
very rewarding.
lots
to
of
pay
little
attention
details.
if
Oh my
you-
God.
Yeah.
This is, we'll kind of try to get, we'll get to it, but I think this is, in my opinion, the best written Final Destination movie.
It's good.
It's very good. So, but they're like in the car and they're blindfolded, and then he takes her to the Space Needle place.
Yeah, I totally skipped all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the restaurant.
This
was
is what
called,
I'm here.
but yeah.
It's in my notes somewhere. Skyview. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
Skyview restaurant. Yeah.
They
So
go in.
they go in. There's music playing. There's a kid. We will get to the kid. There is a kid that is a little shit
There's also
at every possible moment.
Yeah, I hate him. There's also an elevator attendant, and he's not important to the story in any
Oh
way,
my God.
But I just think that's
Worst.
such a useless job. Elevator. oh man, I
You
gotta
couldn't
press these buttons
Right.
real
Right.
good.
Well, with old elevators, they actually had to like flip switches
but
and
this
stuff. I
wasn't
think.
that. This an
He did
elevator
also-
attendant now is useless because he
Right.
was just pressing buttons.
Yeah. Also in that he was also just pressing buttons. He wasn't doing anything
Yeah.
special. But anyways, like with really old ones that you gotta like flip levers and like close the gates on
Yeah,
your own and
that's
stuff.
fine,
I
but I'm
trust that
talking
because
about
you can't trust morons
no
to do that
place
stuff
now
around. But
that isn't like an old like no place with a modern elevator needs an elevator
Yeah.
attendant.
um,
I also eat your creme brulee before you watch this movie because I
Oh.
want some.
anyways, the kid was stealing pennies from the fountain. We will get to more of him being a little shit.
I'm sorry, I'm skipping a lot.
Yeah. If you've seen, no, you're good.
I'm trying to get through it
This is
as I remember it because I'm going to forget it very quickly.
See, this is always been. I say always. We've only been doing this for a little while, but like
This is
this
like 6
this is
episodes.
kind of the developing dynamic. Is that we both talk about stuff, and then I have to remind you of all the little details. Anyways, where were we? Okay. Fucking cat. Can I throw something at him?
As long as it's not something heavy that's gonna hurt him, yeah, I don't fucking care. Fucking quit.
The only thing I'm gonna
Dick.
throw is my phone. Anyways,
Alright.
if you've seen Final Destination movies before, immediately you're already like, disaster's about to happen, right? You're getting the vibes, you're getting the music cues and the weird focuses on like little things happening, right? You're like something is gonna get fucked, right? And they build on this for a while. It's like the first, 10, 15 minutes maybe is this whole kind of opening section.
Yeah, it's a long opening scene.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way though.
Yeah. So, like he was talking about, the elevator attendant letting way too many people into this
Yeah,
elevator.
definitely over capacity.
Way over. Doors won't even close on their own. It's got a glass floor for some reason. Why does it have a glass floor?
elevators are cool.
I mean, that's cool, but like, I don't trust it.
No, it's nerve wracking. I even wrote in my notes. This whole scene, it was making me nervous watching it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, I don't like this.
There's so much tension built.
Yeah.
So,
And then you're gonna talk for a while because my next note happens like 5 minutes from this point
wait, where's your next note?
when she's talking to the singer lady.
Holy shit! You didn't take notes through any of that?
I was just enjoying it, honestly.
Okay, that's so fair. I will blow through these details quickly because they're not really important. I just think they're fun. They get to the thing. The boyfriend tells the guy at the thing that he has a reservation, and he's like, "Oh, too bad." And then these rich people come by, and he's like, "Oh, you guys can come." So they have to like sneak over to the bar to actually be there. Hold on. Oh, asshole kid was jumping on the glass floor of the elevator.
He's a little shit.
Yeah.
Okay, another spoiler real quick. You see a child die.
Oh yeah.
Usually, I'm against that.
Oh, you are. I promise
But
you, if
this
you're
kid.
if you're a reasonable human being, you are rooting for this child.
And it's like...
Is that my standard for reasonable?
It's like... It's graphic, but not... Like,
This movie is so graphic.
I'm talking about, like, this kid's death
Oh
specifically,
yeah.
though. Like,
It could have been. It could have been worse.
That is something...
There's more
I
graphic
feel
deaths in the
like-
film.
I feel like that should be a warning. If you watch... Like, horror movies are one thing, but when a child
Yeah.
dies, there should be a separate warning for that, I think, because that's
I
a
think
little
this
much.
one's true. I think this one's toned down a little bit by the fact that he is such.
Yeah. Also... yeah,
He's the
if you've
worst
seen-
child ever.
His death is kind of like, if you've seen Annabelle Creation, the little girl getting hit by the truck in that movie is very jarring, and this is kind of like that. You just see a little bit of guts. Come out.
Have you seen Hereditary when the girl's head gets fucked? Do you know anything about it?
No,
Oh, I shouldn't tell you then.
I'm probably not.
If you've seen
one of those
Hereditary,
things-
you know the scene I'm talking
It's
about.
one of those things where I've seen too many people be like, "Oh, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life." And then other people are like, "I fucking hate that movie. It's a piece of shit." I don't want to be a part of it. I'm
No,
not gonna watch it.
that's so fair. Can I spoil it for you then?
Sure, I don't care.
Okay. So, I'm not going to get into the reasons why, but girl, anaphylactic shock, sticking head out of the car, brothers racing to take her to the hospital, and then he gets too close to the other road, and there's a power line, and guess where her fucking head goes? Gone.
Yeah, definitely should be a warning when kids
Oh,
die
yeah.
in movies.
Except fuck this kid. Where were we? Had a restaurant. I can't read my notes.
They tried to get in with the reservation.
Right.
The reservation wasn't there because
Sneaked
the guy
a bar.
who was supposed to be pulling the strings for them to get in was apparently fired
Yeah.
that morning.
Yeah, apparently he got immediately fired.
The guy escorts the rich people to their table,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wife is like, "Hey, let's just go to the bar."
Act normal, yeah.
And then they go to the bar, and then she has like a... You go ahead.
No, you go.
She has like a... Not necessarily a premonition yet. We'll get to that. But she has like a bad feeling.
Oh, she's noticing all the stuff.
And then she feels sick.
Yeah.
And she like runs off to the bathroom, and she has a very weird conversation with a stranger that
the singer.
That's a really weird way to talk to people.
Yeah.
You
It was
find
odd.
out she's pregnant.
Also, one of the things that she was noticing, right, is that for some reason, the dance floor in this restaurant at the top has a glass floor because they just wanted to put glass floors everywhere, I guess, right? Well, I suppose it is the sky view.
Yeah.
So, no, that does make sense. But still, glass floor on the dance floor. Like, sure, in the restaurant area maybe, or like a specific part of the balcony, I get it. But, like, on the dance floor? What?
Yeah, and then apparently it's really fucking fragile, too.
Oh, yeah, because you see, like, a chandelier, like, yeah.
And a piece of the chandelier falls off. There's no fucking way it's heavy enough
To crack the glass. It immediately cracks the glass.
And cracks the glass. And then...
But nothing happens yet.
We'll get into it more, but no one fucking notices this.
No one notices the crack
Even
glass.
when the cracks are huge, no one is like, hey,
paying attention.
Maybe we should get off this floor that's
my
clearly
foot-
about to shatter.
My foot doesn't, like, you would notice because your foot wouldn't move right. Like, it would be smooth when it's not broken, and then there's a crack,
Even
and it's
if
like,
you
that's not
didn't
smooth
feel
anymore.
It was very obvious
Right.
to see. And, like, we're going to nitpick stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's still a good movie. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, no, this is a fucking great movie. We're just nitpicky people. Anyways, so she hasn't told her boyfriend that she's pregnant. They go up to a small balcony on the very top of the this fire, and the same asshole little fuck
He's trying to throw coins
is
down.
throwing
off the
pennies off the... That he stole out of the fountain, too, so, like, what was the point?
And then the security guard is like, don't throw those.
You're gonna
That
kill
could
somebody."
Kill someone. And he's like, good. No, he doesn't say that, but that's
He
that's
acts like
his
a little shit
reaction.
about it.
He's like,
He's
fat
like-
ass. He calls him a fat ass when he leaves. I fucking hate this kid.
Because, also the wind blows and a lady loses her hat because they're trying to, like, make you think that maybe the wind will have something to do with it, because the wind always has something to do with it in Final Destination
There's
movies.
a lot of like, what's the fucking word? I don't know. I don't remember the word for it, but there's like a lot of false things. Like they make you
Red
think that-
herrings?
Yeah, that. There's a lot of those.
Yeah. So he gets on his
Wait,
knee.
the kid was also a dick in the elevator about something, right?
He was jumping on the glass floor. I
Oh
mentioned
yeah.
that.
Okay, you're right.
So the guy's proposing. He proposes. She tells him she's pregnant. She expects him to be upset, and he's like really excited. He's like really excited, and she's like,
Because
"Wait, you're not
he was
upset."
also in
She
the
even
process-
apologizes,
yeah.
which was weird.
He was also in the process of proposing.
Yeah.
So. And then
Her ring is just a little small. It's not very small. It's just like he gets it on pretty easily, but it's a little small.
sliding it past the knuckle is the hard part.
Yeah.
And then all the shit goes down.
Yeah.
Everything starts to break. The floor breaks.
I can't read.
Everything collapses.
Yeah, I can't read my. I took like copious notes about this part, and I can't read any of
that's
them. Oh, the kid. The kid throws one more penny, right, and it gets sucked into the air conditioner, and it stops a fan, right, and then they go downstairs, and the people they're playing I forget what the actual title of the song is, shout, but it's like,
Yeah.
shout, ba ba ba. You get it.
Which, by the way, the fucking soundtrack in this movie, the
it's
songs
it's
they
the
use,
tits.
I think it's as good, if not better, than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Oh yeah.
Killer soundtrack.
Fucking great soundtrack. So everybody's jumping, so the crack's getting worse. The fan finally, like, the fan breaks, and it like
shoots the penny out.
Right.
And then opens like a gas tank or
yeah,
something.
it gets like a gas line or something.
So, like a big combination of a bunch of different
Right.
things lead to the collapse
So
of
yeah,
this building.
there's a beam right underneath the dance floor that was shaking earlier. A bunch of the bolts start breaking on that. So eventually the glass floor breaks, right? Whole bunch of people fall and die. New fiance guy is left hanging from like broken glass that's cutting his hands.
His hands are all fucked up
right?
and bloody.
Then people are trying to run, right? And the chef has this stuff that's on fire, and somehow like this lady runs into him, so she catches fire, runs by an air vent, the fire gets sucked in, and then everything fucking explodes.
And then half the building is falling.
Right.
And people are just fucking smacking into the glass.
Oh, dude.
Thudding into the glass.
Already, right. These are the beginning deaths. There is so much fucking blood. This is a very bloody... I'm glad they titled it Bloodlines. It's a very bloody movie.
Also fitting title. Very, very good title. Especially considering the story. But then the half the building collapses. Mm-hmm. The lady is like the last one. Oh, but then she finds a little boy.
Singer kid. The singer that was talking to her earlier had a little boy that you saw, right? And then, you see her, like, hiding him in a cupboard, and it's just barely open when the explosion happens, and he sees his mom get fucking vaporized with fire. Then, hold on.
Then the piano, the fucking dickhead kid, a piano falls on his stupid ass.
Hold on. There's details that... Okay.
Because of the penny.
There's a bunch of people hanging. Like, when the building's sideways, there's a bunch of people, like, on the glass that haven't fallen through. Right? The penny falls off of something. I think it's, like, the chandelier or something. I don't remember. The penny falls, and just is enough to knock this piano. So it slides down, breaks through the glass, kills all those people. We forgot about the stairs collapsing. A bunch of people ran to the stairs to go down the stairs. The stairs collapse. Kid's the only one that fucking lives. You see him on the other side of the hole, like just barely having missed where the stairs fell, right? And okay. So people try to get on the elevator. Then it's overcrowded again when the attendant is trying to stop the asshole old guy who got a table earlier from getting on. And then the cable breaks. And so all of those people obviously die because the elevator falls, but you don't see it. What you do see is the old man, because he's like halfway in the door. And so he just explodes everywhere.
He gets obliterated.
And then half the building falls, and the penny and the piano falls. And then you see the kid escape at the bottom, and then just wham, just gone. And the funniest part to me was that the penny rolled right and back into the fountain that he stole it from.
This penny becomes pretty important.
It does become pretty important.
Weirdly. But the kid is dead, so all is good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Iris, which is the name of the lady. I don't think we've even mentioned that.
They don't say her name until like probably another 5 to 10 minutes from now.
He says it once, but
I forgot.
Like just a passing by.
I don't pay attention to people's names half the time.
She's the last one, but then she finds the little boy.
Mm-hmm.
She grabs him, but then they both fall. She gets fucking demolished.
Oh, yeah.
She falls onto a big sharp thing, and it fucking stabs through the back of her head, through her mouth. But you see it for like a brief second, because then it cuts to the main character. Don't remember her name either.
It's Steph.
She was having a nightmare. And
right.
She was like a night terror. And this was all her night terror. She wakes up in class screaming.
So, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. So, in this, right, this setting it up, right, to where, like, this is going to be the premonition, and then it's going to cut back to, because this is how other Final Destination movies work, right? So, it's setting up that this is, again, if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't watch this until after. But it's setting up that that's going to be the premonition, and then she's going to wake up and she's going to stop it, right? And blah, 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 because that's how the normal Final Destination would work. But then you wake up when she dies inside, like we said, the new person in modern times. And you're like, whoa, what? That's different. So it's kind of subverting your expectations. And then later, when she goes to meet Iris, you find out that nightmare she was having was Iris's premonition,
which is
and
what we're about to get to.
And then in the past she had done the normal thing.
We can kind of just breeze through up to that point. She has the night terror in class. She has it again that night and bothers her roommate. And roommate's like, "Go fucking visit your family."
None of this is really that important.
Me off.
Yeah.
So she goes to visit her family. She asks her dad about her grandmother because her grandmother's name was Iris, and she thinks, well, the lady in my dream is named Iris. Maybe it's the same Iris. So
which is
she
a
has-
weird assumption, but
yeah,
okay.
but his dad is like, don't ask about her.
Do not.
And she's like, all right, I'm gonna go see our cousins and our uncle. And he's like,
Okay,
don't fucking
because
ask him.
her brother's already going to see the cousins, and so
Yeah.
she's like, perfect opportunity.
And he's like, don't fucking ask your uncle about her.
Guess
and
what?
Then she immediately
asked
does.
the uncle.
And he reveals that she's basically the Laurie Strode of Final Destination.
Right,
She's
she's-
like locked herself up, traumatized her kids, gotten them taken away from her,
Right.
trying to protect them from death.
Right, absolutely
And,
kind
yeah,
of paranoid
she's in,
as
like,
far as they're aware.
She's in, like, first of all, what the fuck is her job that
It's
she can
also-
afford all this property and this
Right.
cabin and shit?
Hold on. This is also where you find out that apparently Steph's mom, who is Iris's daughter and Uncle Howard's sister, disappeared.
course his
Like
name
she
is
left.
Howard.
She abandoned her kids whenever Steph was like 10. So, anyways, yeah, fucking murder mansion out in the fucking woods that Iris has been living in.
Yeah, I don't know how she afforded that, but she did.
And also, like we said this in the theater, like for someone who's paranoid about dangerous things trying to kill
She's
her,
got a lot of fucking
it's a
death
very
traps.
dangerous fucking
Yeah,
house.
she's got a bunch of like wooden spikes and all kinds of
Which-
horrifying shit.
To be fair, does set up an amazing set piece at the climax of the movie,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make that much sense.
And this movie kind of moves really fast. I like it. I like that it moves
Oh, yeah.
fast, but it's just something to note. It moves really fast.
I
But Iris gets to
cannot
her
read my
grandmother's
fucking
house.
notes.
That's okay. I got it from here. Don't you worry. Probably don't, but Iris is at her grandmother's house. She tells her about it. Her grandmother
Oh, yeah.
reveals. No, Iris is the grandmother. I'm fucking
Right.
Steph is at her grandmother's house, and
Oh,
Iris
grandma.
reveals all the shit. She's like, that was my premonition.
Right,
And
yeah.
I saved all of that. I
Right.
saved all those people.
You see her,
But then over the years, they all died.
Yeah.
In the order that they died in my premonition.
Right.
And the only reason you guys are not dead is because I'm like this. Because everyone who she saved had families, and they all died because they were never supposed to be alive in the first place because their parents cheated
I
death.
think.
Sorry, Annabelle.
Okay. First thing I was thinking of is, so when she talks about it, you see her, you see that she woke up from the premonition during the proposal, and at first her fiance was like, are you saying no? Because she was like freaking out, and she steals the penny from the kid, and then she stops the people dancing on the dance floor, and they realize it's cracked, and then she gets fucking arrested because she's fucking batshit insane. But the other thing is right now is the time too when it pulls out of like the flashback of her saving everybody, that it does like the classic kind of the Final Destination thing where the camera like comes out of their eye as it's coming out of the premonition. Because I don't think it really did that earlier when Steph woke up from the dream, but it does it now when the grandma's talking about, which I think is a nice kind of subversion and then payoff later. I think that's all I had for now.
And then Iris she's horrified because her granddaughter doesn't believe her
Yeah.
that all this stuff is happening, which
She's got like this book
why
that's got.
would you
Why would
first?
you
'Cause
believe that, right?
Crazy people always deliver their fucking craziness
In a crazy way.
If they would say it like calmly and just explain it coherently, maybe people wouldn't think they're as crazy.
Right.
But they ruin it.
Right.
So
she
Steph is like trying to fucking get
Right.
the fuck out of there.
And
She's like,
Iris is trying to give her this book that's got like all of like, it's the sort of thing that you would expect someone who really likes
serial killer to have.
that you would expect someone who really likes Final Destination movies to be like watching like these newer movies, and they're like, oh, this is gonna cause this and this, blah blah blah, right? It's very much kind of a fan-like device where it's just like, this is how death does things, you
And
know.
again, strong Laurie Strode vibes.
Oh, very
from
strong.
Iris. And then she realizes that the only way to prove to her granddaughter that all of this is true is to fucking walk outside and
Right.
get brutally murdered.
Also, before she does this, she's not doing it out of nowhere. She got diagnosed 2 months ago with cancer, right? Which is whenever Steph started having the nightmares, right? So death's gonna get her anyways eventually. We don't have a clear kind of idea on what exactly her prognosis is. Based on some of the things she says, I imagine it's not long. But yeah, that's why she makes the decision of like, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself basically, and she gets fucked.
And then you see a
my god,
very close up shot of it.
Right, like so
I don't. It's like one of those little compass.
it's a
things
weather vane.
That yeah. It gets knocked off the top of the house.
Hits a fire extinguisher that had fallen earlier when Steph got there, and it gets
shoots it into her face.
Right,
and
like
fucking explodes through.
Oh
her
my
face.
god, blood!
There's a lot
all over Steph's face.
Of face exploding. In this
oh
movie.
my god, it's so you will feel uncomfortable about anything like.
If you don't like gore, maybe skip this one.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes, "Goddamn, Grandma."
Right.
But then they have the funeral,
right?
And their mother, Steph's mother, shows up
in an RV that she's been living in.
Yeah, since abandoning them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to a family barbecue.
Oh god.
There's an important thing before that. Steph says that she's not going to go to the barbecue if her mom's there because she abandoned her, and then her brother is like, "Well, that's what you're doing to us right now," and she's like, "Nuh-uh, fuck you." Yeah,
because we didn't talk about this. Steph is apparently in college. And apparently since she left for college, she has, and you get hints of this earlier whenever they go see the cousins, she has not kept in contact with her family at all. Like, and her brother talks about like how he tried to call her and stuff, and she never responded or anything.
Yeah, and she's just like, I'm not like her, God.
And it's like, you very much are like your mom.
Yeah. But then we go to the family barbecue, and as there's a lot of hints where you're like, oh, this is gonna be it, this is gonna be it, and then it doesn't it doesn't happen.
It's so good.
All while the barbecue is happening, Steph is looking into all this stuff that her grandma gave her.
Right, she's reading
and
the book.
Realizing that like, God damn, this is real. She's right. And she starts to rush over to the barbecue.
Hold on. Sorry. A glass gets broke, right? They clean it up, but a piece of glass ends up in the icebox. And then that glass ends up in one of the family members' drinks, and you're not sure who for like a long time.
So every time someone takes a sip, you're
like,
oh.
It keeps faking you out with like someone's gonna like eat the glass, and then the cousins start jumping on a trampoline. Or one of the cousins, I can't remember if it was Bobby or what.
Bobby.
But yeah, probably Bobby based on their personalities. Bobby and I think Charlie, Steph's brother, start jumping on the trampoline, and then it keeps showing you shots of this rake that is laid down like blade side up underneath it, so you think that's gonna hit.
Very irresponsible place to put a rake.
Right. And then so the uncle gets on the trampoline.
They're definitely over the weight limit.
Oh, for sure. It's ripping. It shows it ripping.
Children's trampoline, and there's 3 full-grown adults that are at least like 120, 150 pounds each.
Oh, more than that. Way more than that.
I know, I'm saying at least because the younger kid is probably around that area, and then the other two are
they're definitely over.
They're over the weight limit. You don't need to get specific like that.
Right, so Steph's mom, Darlene, notices the rake, grabs it, puts it up on a thing. There is a glass bottle that was set up earlier. Something hits that, and I think it blocks like a hose or something.
It falls on like the gas something. I don't know. It makes the grill like explode into Eric's face, which we'll get to Eric. He's the best fucking character.
Eric
in the
does
entire
best
movie, by far.
There's a lot happening, and I was trying to take notes in the dark. So
yeah, but the grill explodes.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit.
So right as Steph gets there, the uncle gets off the trampoline, steps on the glass because the drink had gotten knocked over and the glass ended up in the thing. So he steps on the glass and he's like, ah, and then the hose that got blocked like knocks over the rake that the mom had set up because she put it up blade side out, and then that hits a lawnmower. The uncle falls,
and then the lawnmower fucking shreds
just
up his
right
face.
Onto his face, and then you see like his daughter Julia fucking scream, and it's
yeah, it's bad.
So far,
it's real bad. Two face explosions.
Right. So far, Steph is 2 for 2 for watching close family members get their fucking heads blown apart. 2 for 2. So they're having the funeral, and Steph's trying to explain to them all the stuff she's been finding out in the book, and they think she's fucking crazy, obviously.
Understandably so.
And then she says Eric is going to be the next one. And then...
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Am I skipping anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, so...
Because then she starts, like, constantly checking on Eric.
Oh, yeah. And he's at a tattoo parlor that he works at doing a piercing.
Yeah, he's piercing some lady's tongue, and she, like, runs out of the building. I guess she paid first, which generally you don't pay first.
No, you don't.
You usually pay after, but she just runs out.
Well,
and then,
they usually do a deposit.
Yeah, and then you think he's about to die, because
yeah.
there's a chain on the ceiling that gets knocked loose.
Right.
And it swings down.
It's hanging, like...
snatches
there's
his septum piercing. So it's hooked on, and he can't get it off.
Right, and the chains, like... So, like, there's a fan, like a ceiling fan, and the chains are coming down from, like, right near it, and it breaks off over here. And so the fan's winding it up.
Yeah, and pulling it up. So he's like, he keeps having to step on stuff.
Right, because he's like getting dragged up. And
he's
then
trying not to get fucked up.
There's some chemicals that spilled that catch fire. There's some broken glass from like a counter that breaks whenever he's trying to like get up off the floor to not get his nose piercing ripped out.
He finally gets it out. And then you see an explosion and the building is like on fire.
Right, he like falls to the ground and like burns his hand.
The best character just died.
Right.
Then it cuts to the next day. Steph can't get a hold of him. She'd been constantly trying to get a hold of him. Mm-hmm. She wakes up her brother. He hasn't heard from him. But then he finds out on their way to go see if he's okay that the tattoo shop burned down. So they're super fucking... They're like,
oh God, he's dead.
He's dead. But then they almost hit him with the car. Or they do hit him, I think. I think they stop and like just tap.
Right, he just kind of he does that thing where you're like hands on the hood, where you're like, oh shit, I almost got fucked.
And then he keeps like, oh, I'm gonna die, because she's like, don't get near those kids.
She's like, stay away from that. It's like a branch trimmer, like the long poles with like the saw. She's like, stay away from that, like stay away from those kids. And he's like, what are the kids gonna do? It's like, well, maybe the branch trimmer will fall. And then it'll hit the guy with the leaf blower, and it'll blow the leaves in the kids, and the kids will kick the ball into your face.
Yeah. And he's like, oh
my God.
And then he makes you real nervous because he's the best character, and you're like, thank God he didn't die. And then he walks backwards into the street and almost gets hit by a
He
truck.
almost gets bust, which is a classic Final Destination thing.
And then they meet up with, is it Julia?
Julia, yeah, it's their sister.
They meet up with her, and she's like, fuck off, Steph, you bitch.
And then...
the garbage truck is there, and she's like, don't get near the garbage truck. And
he fucking starts like grinding on the garbage truck
the tire like it's an ass, and he's licking it, which don't lick a garbage truck.
No, don't, but it's also hilarious. Eric really is the best character.
And then they're like, the garbage truck pulls away. He's
right.
Like, see, nothing happened.
Right. So they start.
Julia's going on a jog, and then the exact fucking thing that Steph just said.
I love this shot so much.
She fucking gets knocked in the face with a soccer ball, goes into a trash can, and then it gets dumped in the truck.
And I love this shot because, like, it's, you know, it's here.
She's just in the background.
Right. Yeah. You see the conversation going just slightly right of center frame, and you see her in the background, and then you see the whole thing happen, and her just... immediate. It's almost comedic.
They had to kick that soccer ball pretty fucking hard
to knock her all the way over into the trash can. Right, she's head first into the trash can.
They fucking shot that out of a bazooka. Or
right, so they run after the garbage truck.
They're chasing it, and then Steph climbs on it while the other two, the brother and Eric, try to like get the driver to stop.
Right, and he's loud music and earbuds and stuff.
And
so
they
like,
eventually get him to stop, but the truck is compressing the trash. Steph's trying to pull out Julia, and then she gets fucking crushed and her face explodes.
Her face,
so
his face is like kind of like, her head is like right in the gap where the top of the thing is, and she just it's so slow too.
Oh yeah, it's
my God,
horrifying.
It's a really slow face crush. It's fucked.
And then I wrote, honestly, she deserved it.
Yeah. So yeah, Julia kind of sucked, but yeah, 3 for 3 on close family members getting their heads exploded in front of Steph.
The truck driver clearly saw them he looked
There's
at them.
no
when they
way
were
he didn't.
him, and he was like whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, the cut when she dies in the garbage truck screaming to the fucking teapot boiling. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was good.
And then you find out the fucking bombshell that the uncle is not actually Eric's father.
Which is why Julia died first and not
Eric.
Eric.
And I wrote, thank God Eric is safe.
And Eric freaks the fuck out.
Understandable. Yeah.
And then Bobby, the youngest cousin, starts freaking out because he knows he's next and he's about to die. Because finally people are like, oh, okay, we believe you now.
Yeah.
Except for
The dad.
Steph's dad.
The dad is never convinced.
At no point is
Which
he convinced.
his life is ruined.
Which
At the end
also-
of this movie, he's gonna off himself.
Anyways, this is the last time you see him to the end. Anyways.
Yeah.
Like you don't see him after this scene until.
He goes on a walk because he's frustrated that people are acknowledging Steph's crazy theories. He
Right.
thinks, but Steph's mom helps them figure out who JB is, and they find out that he works at a hospital that's an hour away, and they're gonna go, and they're not gonna take the most in danger person who's supposed to die next
Right,
that
at
they
first
know
they're
is
like,
gonna die.
You should stay here. It's safer. And he's like, there's so many ways to die. But also, they just established that Steph knows the stuff well enough from reading the book to be able to predict what Death's plan is.
Yeah, and then
And they're like, you should stay here and not with me, who is going, who can keep you safe.
yeah,
which
they're
is dumb.
pretty damn dumb.
But he ends up going with them anyways.
Yeah. They take the RV, they go to the hospital. They just walk into the fucking coroner's office like he's doing an autopsy and they just fucking walk in.
They just walk in the middle of an autopsy, which is crazy. And the guy in there doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's just like, "What's up? What do you guys need?"
Also, quick establishing. It is mentioned earlier that Bobby, one of the cousins, has a severe peanut allergy. Right?
Oh yeah, it is established early on.
Right. And then it comes up again before they leave because the mom made peanut butter cookies, which is Steph's mom made peanut butter cookies, which is how it's set up that he has a peanut allergy. And then Eric is just like, "Hey, are you sure there's no peanuts on there?" And she's like, "Oh, I totally forgot." So he goes and gets the thing, and you think he's gonna go with them, and then you think, "Oh, they're not gonna go with him," and then you think he's gonna go with it, and you're like, "No."
He throws
and
out
then
the peanut
finally
butter
ends up
and he
going
goes with him.
Right.
And then they storm into the coroner's office, and they're just like, "Fuck you, we're looking for somebody else."
Right.
And then it's fucking Tony Todd.
Tony fucking Todd as fucking Bloodworth, the staple character of this series.
And like I just want to
I
know.
love Tony Todd so much.
They have this whole conversation where he's explaining how all this works to them and the deaths, like how death comes back if people cheat death and all that. What's the fucking coroner doing during this? Because it's within earshot. Like he's just right behind where the coroner was. So like,
my God.
what is the coroner like? Is he listening? And he's like, what the fuck are they talking about in
Right.
there? What is this?
Who knows where the corner? I'm trying to find where we are based on Tony Todd, and I cannot read.
I can't read your notes. Definitely.
Oh my God.
I mean, I got it. I got the
specifically-
rest of the story if you need. I got
Hold
you.
on.
I can.
I know where it is. I just gotta find it.
I can keep you going. I'm gonna keep going.
No, you're good. Hold on. Before you do, I did want to talk about the Tony Todd thing. So,
They have.
are you
If
gonna
you,
talk about? Have you?
I'll just
Where are you in terms of Tony Todd doing the weird goodbye
still
thing?
on the scene. Yeah, like
Yeah, you do
it's. He has passed away now. It's weird because in this movie, it's like they knew it was gonna happen based
Right.
on his speech.
So
It's a little off-putting. Or it's a little creepy. I don't know the
That's
right
what I wanted to
word,
get
but it's
to.
just it's weird because he's giving a speech like he knows he's gonna die in real
Right.
life, and it's weird to see.
I found this article a little while ago from AV Club. Right. Talking to this is a quote from one of the producers, Craig Perry. And he says, "We all knew that he was obviously quite ill, and it was pretty clear that this was going to be the last role he would play in a movie. And the fact that it was one of the Final Destination movies made it that much more poignant." And hold on, it says later in the article basically that they knew it was going to be one of his last things, so the directors asked him to write his own goodbye to the fans.
Oh.
So that's why that's so emotional, is because he
It's
actually
very-
wrote it himself, and they knew that.
Now
he
it's
knew
very
he
sad.
wasn't-
Now it's very sad.
Right.
Thanks. It is a pretty beautiful goodbye though.
I love Tony Todd.
yeah, it
so
was-
much. I'm so sad that he's
It was
gone.
very touching. But he reveals to them that the only way to stop this is to take a life, to just die, or there's like a loophole. You can die, and then if you come back to life from
Right,
dying,
if you get resuscitated.
yeah, if you get resuscitated, then that'll end the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So then Eric is like, Bobby, eat some peanuts, and
Right.
we're going to bring you back to life.
This also, I can't remember. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched these. if I remember correctly, I don't know if it's ever actually upheld, but I think in the second one, it's stated that you can also escape it by bringing new life into the world. But also at the same time, all of these movies end with like the main characters dying right before the credits. So I don't know if that one actually counts or not.
Yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 years since I've watched all the other ones.
What the fuck, dude? Dude, turn it off.
I'm trying.
Also, the kid from the beginning that was the singer's kid.
Don't worry, he's definitely dead now.
What?
Oh,
the
no.
singer's kid.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bitch kid.
Okay.
We'll get to him later again.
To go back a little bit, bitch kid is definitely dead, right? Everybody except for their family has died. But to go back to the beginning a bit, you find out that the singer's kid that Iris saved in the dream, and also saved in real life inadvertently, was actually Bloodworth as a child, which I thought was great. Because we finally get an explanation for why he knows so much about... Because in the other movies, he just kind of knows about the death stuff, but now we actually know why he knows about the rules, which I think is great. Because he's the one that explains the rules in, like, all of them.
But then Eric is like, Bobby, you gotta eat some peanuts.
We're gonna fucking kill you.
You have to die. You can't use your EpiPen. You need to die. And then we'll bring you back. And then so, at first, they're looking like... Well, there's some babies right here, and that'd buy you a lot of extra time.
It's a great joke because they're talking about just like, how would you even know, like, because Bloodworth said, like, if you kill somebody, you get the time that they had left.
Yeah, and all his babies don't necessarily have a lot of time left.
Right.
You don't really know.
That, like,
so
it's a lot less common, but infant death does still happen.
So then they decide, that's when they actually decide on the peanuts.
Right.
So they go to the fanciest vending machine I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a really fucking fancy.
They order, at first they're going to get nuts, and he's like, if I'm going to die, I'm not eating those unsalted bitches.
Right.
And he gets some peanut butter cups from the fucking 20s.
Like off-brand
They look like
Reese's.
they look like circus things.
Right.
And then the scene... The rest of the group is looking for them because they've run off.
Right.
And they're in like an MRI room. And
hold on.
this whole scene gives me so much fucking anxiety.
Before you get to that, so when they try to get the peanut butter cups, it starts to...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It only partially does it. And so Eric hits the glass and trying to knock it and fucking breaks the glass like an asshole. Right, and then he starts trying to rock the machine, and then you think Bobby's gonna get crushed because he's like trying to like keep it from falling over.
Which, given their situation, he should not have stood in front of that vending machine.
No, that was dumb. That was really dumb. But anyway, so Bobby pushes it back level, and it's then that like the spring breaks, but like it kind of like pops out, but it actually does fall, and it makes the peanut butter cups fall so they can get the peanut butter cups. And then they go to a room right across from the vending machine, which is an MRI room for some reason. So
they're in the MRI room.
Eric leaves, right? I want to talk about this. Eric leaves because he's looking for something I don't remember. When he's looking for a wheelchair. When he shuts the door, it makes like a thing fall off the wall, which turns on the MRI. Oh, yeah. And Bobby's like, well, that's creepy. And then Eric stops and talks to this, like, the nurse tries to stop him, and he's like, I'm just visiting my Nana, and just sits down beside this old lady.
How long you got left?
It's the funniest thing ever. But anyways, he gets the wheelchair, he comes back.
Bobby tries the peanut butter cup.
Right, he makes him sit in the wheelchair so he can wheel him quickly, and he's like, got his back to the MRI machine, eats the peanut butter cups.
And Eric is upset when he's not like instantly dying. He's
also,
like, what the fuck is going on? Let's go.
Eric took his EpiPen to make sure he couldn't like give it to himself because they want him to flatline so that they can resuscitate him and everybody will be fine.
He starts going into anaphylaxis.
Right.
And he's like freaking out, jumping. He jumps out of the wheelchair.
Right.
I mean, you're panicking. You're in anaphylaxis. And the MRI machine starts to overload or whatever.
It's getting more and more power, and it finally sucks Eric's phone out of his hand, which hits the manual override, which makes it go even higher.
Yeah, and he's like, oh shit.
Which I don't think that's how MRIs work, but
I'm sure that they probably are powerful enough to do something like that, but probably not that easily.
No, that seems convoluted.
Then his fucking all his jewelry starts getting sucked in. His
he loses earrings.
He's got nipple rings.
Loses those, and then you see his dick start raising up in his pants,
and it gets sucked in. And then the wheelchair pushes him into the machine, and then
oh my god, it's such a brutal death.
Through his stomach, and
it's like pushing through his stomach. He's like getting bent in half and getting forced into the hole.
And then, still in anaphylaxis, Bobby crawls over to him and pulls the EpiPen out of his dead, fucked up body.
Right.
And saves himself.
Right. It's about now a nurse. There was a bunch of stuff outside in the halls that started moving, and the nurse is like, "That's fucking weird." So she runs in, sees, she's like, "Oh my god." And then it's about then that the spring finally comes out of the vending machine and fucking goes through Bobby's face and turns as it's getting screwed into his head.
Yeah, that's
Which, technically, it's still only 3 for 3 on Steph being in person when a close family member's head explodes, but she's 4 for 4 on seeing dead family members with head exploding. So, and then also Eric.
Yeah. So now they're both dead, and it's just the mom and the 2 kids left.
Right, because the aunt that was married to Uncle Howard, and obviously Steph and Charlie's dad are not blood related, so they're not part of the death thing. Also, we kind of implied it, but we didn't actually specify it. They do specify it in the movie. The reason they're getting killed, and the reason the families of all the other people that survived got killed.
I did say that already.
Did we? Oh, yeah. It was because they weren't supposed to exist.
Yeah,
which
I already said that.
I feel like there was something that... Oh, that's why I said it contradicts the fucking... The second movie, is because technically that baby should be dead. Like the baby that gets born in Final Destination 2.
I don't even
that baby should that baby should eventually get killed.
Wait,
but anyways.
They're outside the hospital, the 3 of them, and they're trying to think of a way to stop it, and then they decide we need to go to the fucking cabin because that's the only place that'll be safe.
Right, because Ira, she said she hadn't left in like 20 years.
Yeah, and then the son was like, I don't want to live in a cabin sheltered away from the world for the rest of my life, which is fair. So the mom's like, I'll do it by myself. And
right.
Like, well, we need to go with you to make sure you get there.
Right.
So they all go to the cabin.
Oh, and it's right now, the penny that, so Iris had kept the penny that she took from the little shithead kid and saved everybody. And she took that, right, and it was in the book, and you saw it earlier. And then right now it falls out of the book, and then it kind of rolls away, and you see the old lady that Eric talked to pick it up and, like, take it, which seems random right now. It will be important later, I promise. This movie is very good about that sort of thing.
And then they get to the cabin, and it's a fucking death trap.
Oh, it's
so
fucking horrible.
They don't want to just walk in there, so they ram through the gate with the RV. But then the RV crashes, or I think something causes it to, like, fall. No, it doesn't crash yet.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah. It is a rough stop.
It's a rough stop and something falls.
Yeah, and it messes up Steph's seatbelt, so she cannot get out of her seat.
Right, and then they're trying to help her, but she's like, no, get the fuck inside.
Go inside, because when you're inside and safe, then I don't have to worry about anything, which I get, like... I get that they're in, like, the curse of death, but, like, that's still a dangerous situation, whether, like, you're supposed to die or not. Like,
right, that's not good.
Like, you're not safe if she goes inside. You're safer. You're safe from the curse, but you're still in danger of dying.
Right. So, there's, like, a cable going to some of the floodlights that's, like, fucked up, and it's, like, sparking, and one of those sparks lights some leaves in a gutter on fire, and inside there's like this hanging pot that the rope breaks and it falls and cracks something on the stove so that it starts leaking gas. And it's right about then that the mom opens the door to the cabin and you see an ember from the burning leaves fly into the door, catch the stuff on fire. Mom realizes at the last minute and tries to shut the door, but the whole fucking cabin explodes. It fucking is like huge. Then the RV gets like knocked over into this pond that you saw earlier at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and then...
So Steph's in danger of drowning.
Yeah, and then the son is trapped under, like, this big piece of debris.
Right.
And you think the mom is dead.
For a second.
Then she comes up with a Freddy Krueger face.
Oh, her face is fucked.
It's burned as shit. She helps lift the debris.
There's also
off her
another...
son.
Before you see the mom come back, you see this light, another, like, pole with floodlights on it about to fall over, and you're like, oh, no, it's going to land on the kid, but then the mom saves him. And then he's like, oh God, Mom, your face, like after she gets him out, and she's like, it's fine, I'll be fine, go take care of your sister, and then
her face
immediately
explodes.
immediately crushed by the falling light pole.
But then he saves his sister, he cuts his finger, and this is the second time that something happens with fingers in this movie, and I don't like it. Like the first one we didn't mention before.
Was Iris.
She's fallen down from the building at the beginning, and her ring gets caught in between like two things that hold it up. And then it fucking scrapes the skin.
It degloves her finger.
It's just,
and so they fall and die. It's fucked.
But anyway, he ends up cutting the seatbelt. You don't know if she got out.
Oh, she's definitely drowned though.
Black,
right.
But then she gets out.
And he's like doing
he
CPR.
CPRs her, and they think they're safe.
Mm-hmm. Which, even me, these kids are dumb and they don't know how fucking drowning or CPR works. Because I was like, okay, but... Oh, hold on. Excuse me.
Yeah, don't fucking do that again.
Fuck you. So they think they're safe, but I was like, okay, but like, did her heart actually stop, or did she just pass out from no air? Because those are two very different things. But they think they're safe. And then it cuts to them walking away, which
later,
the house is still raging on fire, and it's in wood. So I'm like, you're not going to call the fire department or anything? Because, like, that's a forest fire begging to happen. I mean, you already know that, like, the dry leaves and stuff are, like, dry enough to catch because you just saw it.
Yeah.
So, like, call a fire department. Fuck.
Then it cuts to later, and they're recovered enough.
He's about to go to prom.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the girl. And they meet his dad. And
The prom date's dad.
Yeah, and he's kind of a dick, because they're talking about how he saved her life,
and he goes
like, you technically your heart didn't stop.
Well, even before that, he was like,
yeah, he's
and they're like, what? And he's like, well, you just passed out. Your heart didn't stop. I mean, like, he still saved you, but like and then they realize they're fucked.
Dickhead.
Oh, before he says this though, is when you see the
buying
old
lemonade.
lady, she's buying lemonade, drops the same penny from earlier, right? It rolls and then gets stuck in the train tracks that you saw at the beginning of the movie, and keeps the because there's like, it's one of those things that where the track changes so the train can turn. It stops it from closing all the way. And then you see this conversation, and then you see the train coming, and then they hear the train, and they're like, "Oh no!" You
also see the red car from the beginning.
Well, it's a different red car, but it's the same style of car.
Yeah.
But you see a vintage red car like you did at the beginning. It's a very nice kind of setup and payoff.
Then the train fucking crashes off the
derails
tracks,
through the neighborhood.
Some houses, almost kills them, and you're like, "Oh, this is where it's fucking."
It's
done.
amazing they managed to outrun the train.
Yeah.
Before you say it, earlier when they were leaving to go to the cabin, I totally forgot about this until just now. Earlier when they were leaving to go to the cabin, right? The mom is driving the RV. They're trying to pull out of the hospital parking lot, and they have to really suddenly stop because they about get T-boned by another vehicle, which is a semi pulling a bunch of logs, which is a really fun reference
that's got to be the most famous.
Is a really fun reference to the second
Final
movie.
Destination movies
right.
Overall, that's the most famous.
It's
one.
fucking great.
You see the memes all the time, and people on the highway, they're like, "Oh, look what's in front of me!"
Right. Also, speaking of references, there is a scene earlier that references the original movie, because I think there's a thing in the grandma's book about the plane crash which is from the beginning, obviously, of the original movie, and then it's also from the end of the movie before this.
And there's probably a lot
more that we missed.
I'm not the kind of person who can just spot those very easily. I have to watch the
videos. I think I got the obvious one. I think I got the obvious ones, but like I haven't watched any of these movies in a really long time. So,
but you think that they're safe?
You think they're safe?
But then a fucking log truck comes in, and they both get
I don't know.
obliterated by logs.
Do you
I don't
see
know
it's
that
the
it's
truck?
a truck.
It might have been one of the back
might
train
be a
cars.
a train car, but it's logs.
I don't remember.
And they both
a shit ton of logs, yeah. And then it's the
logs.
credits, and it's
the end of the
fucking
movie.
great.
Oh my god. So the two takeaways I have from this movie mainly are fuck that kid. He ruined the
Fuck
whole
that
movie.
kid. That kid is the worst.
He is the reason for all of this. And second of all, that's a fucking cursed penny. That needs to go.
Fuck that penny.
That needs to go.
Oh
in
my
the
god.
Warren's museum. It's,
Third takeaway, Eric is the best character.
yeah, don't
right?
get attached though.
I'm
because
really
you'll be
sad he dies.
And that's the meat. We're gonna go ahead and skip public opinion because this movie technically
just
doesn't
came
come
out.
till tomorrow. So
There is no public opinion yet that we can read.
Yeah,
There's lots of public opinion, I'm sure, but
yeah, so that's
nothing for us to share with you.
that's about it for this podcast. Good movie,
It was a fucking great movie.
fast paced, very enjoyable.
If
Join
you-
us the week after next. We're going to be covering one episode of Goosebumps and one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark in the same episode. So that'll be cool.
Also, if you've gotten to the end of this and you haven't seen the movie, one, you're an idiot. Why would you not watch it before listening to this? Two, go watch it. It's fucking great. Easily, again, it's been a long time since I've seen the other ones, but easily the best Final Destination movie, I think. It's fucking amazing.
Google cheap theaters in your area because regular theaters are ridiculous. We saw this at a theater close to us. Tickets are $5. So,
Just watch it. Just watch the movie.
yeah.
You should watch the movie.
Yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
I don't think this one has to go in the bin.